Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's great to have you all here and see so many people interested in open science topics. I will be presenting in this session the University of Paris 8 Library and its resources and good practices for open educational resources, open science and open access, along with Clémence Desrues, head of the library's public service department. We will talk about some important points. First of all, concerning our library, the key elements. Clémence will first present our library, key figures, our public service, our education and skills, and after that, I will touch some important points, some important dimension regarding open science as the future of scholarly publication, especially our open archive HAL Paris 8. And after that, some important points to our project data Paris 8. And finally, some words on education and skill in open science and research integrity. I would like to give now the floor to Clémence.
Thanks. Hello, everybody. So my name is Clémence Desrues, and I'm the head of the library's public services department. So I'm here to help you to figure out where we work, where our library looks like. And I would like to start with the key figures because I think it's very helpful to understand our university, our work, and our activities. So at the University of Paris 8, we have a community mainly composed by bachelor degrees, and you can see the number. I give that if you want. Of our undergraduates, our master degrees, and our PhDs. So we are a university with flagship disciplines in arts mainly, with yes. Okay, with arts, with cinema, and also with theater, photography, also, and with in humanities and social sciences, with psychology. So we are very science social universities, and in our library we have a quite big staff for French library because we are 101 librarians, and we have 13 students employees who help us with storage, book storage, and with the main services of the library, which is called Infomobile. So it's a French name for a flagship service of the library. It was created to come out to the public because we have a big library with a lot of space for the public. And sometimes the users and the public was a little lost or was not very easy to ask to the librarian for help. And so we created these services to avoid the word sentence for the librarian, which is sorry to bother you. We really like to invite people to come and to ask all the questions about the university, about the library of the books. We are here to help us. So from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., we have 2 librarians or student employees which circulate into the spaces of the library and ask users if they need help or see they can inform them. So it's very helpful, and it works very well in a large library because we have, as you can see, a big library and which also a big number of study spaces. So it's in many sense big services of our library. We are quite open also to Monday to Friday, so to 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and also on Saturday. On Saturday, it's quite a small day of opening because we don't have a very big need for the users. It's just to work, but they don't need a large opening on Saturday. But to Monday to Friday, we have a quite large opening, and we open with only librarians the students, employees don't help us to open. It's a choice of the library to have a warm welcome, to have some quality also welcome, and I will talk about that later. And to finish, we have also, we are in the department of Seine-Saint-Denis in France, so it's near from Paris, and it's a department with some social issues, I can say. And it's very important to have that in mind, because all our activities or our services will be conceived and will be held to help all the people, and not only the students. We are open to all the people of Seine-Saint-Denis and more often to France. And that we are proud of that. And we work to welcome all the people at the library. So here you have little pictures of our library just to figure out where we work. So we have some very classic science room for spaces, studies, and with a lot of books. So you can see that at the top. And we have also some spaces where you can talk, not very loud, but at some quite reasonable sounds. So it's called the salle jaune, and you can work together or alone. It's what depends, what you like. And we have, it's a thing that I like in the library. We have also different spaces to work alone, to work with a group, to speak loud, to not speak. So it's very depends of the day. If you want to work silently or you want to work with people, it's your choice. It's not the library who choose for you. You choose the library. So we have big spaces. We have a great room to watch movies because some students doesn't have at home some materials to watch movies, so they can go at the library and for free watch a movie. We have some group rooms where we can share a screen with other people. You can write on the walls, on the big screen, not on the wall, sorry. And we have some boxes. You can see on the top on the right, some boxes to work alone or on groups. And during the pandemic of the COVID-19, we put these boxes to visioconference, to the video conference, because some students come to the library and say, we don't have the Wi-Fi at home, or we can go to classes at the university and then the next hour have a class online. So they come to the library to pass exams sometimes, or to just go and watch their courses. So just not to disturb the other students and to be able to participate in the courses, we put these rooms, the specific rooms with these boxes to specifically video conference. It was very, very helpful during the pandemic for the students. And to conclude, we have at the top of the left my favorite, I think, services in the library, which called Atelier de Conversation in French. So it's a workshop for foreigners, foreign students or foreign users to practice that French with other people like them. And it's not a course of French course. It's very free. You can make some, we can speak with a terrible accent. You can make some faults. It's okay, because you are here to practice and to be able to speak in French and to meet people. And this workshop, for French workshop, was only made at the beginning to help people to learn French, but at the end, it was very social spaces to meet people, to be involved in the university, and to meet some people at the end. So we do that twice a week for foreign users and students at the library, and do that in French and in English. Now, another main subject of topics from our library is something called Public Service Plus, in French, Service Public Plus, which is a clarity framework for welcoming, and it's a ministerial aspect. You can see the petit logo République Française on the top. It's a framework for all the public services in France, and the ministerial ambition is that every administration, for public administration, have the same main words to welcome people. So it's the French and the left and the right I translate for you. So the main topics are to be closer from the public, to be more efficient, and to be more simple, because it's very well known that the public administration in France is quite difficult to understand. And the main ambition is that you have to be welcome in the same way at the police station that in the library. So it is quite difficult to figure out for now, but it will be the ambition for the next years. And here at the Library of Paris, we are involved since 2000 in this framework to have a very qualitative way to welcome our users. So it's something very administrative, but you have some very, how can I say? Yes, very stage and every day you can put in application this framework because when you have somebody who has never come in a library with maybe a little not ashamed, but you are afraid to enter in a library you are not used to, you can have people who is smiling, who is warming, who, even if we don't have the answer, just to say we are here and we will help you. And this is a closer way. And we are at the library. We have 17 and 9 librarians who are doing and welcoming people. So we have to have a main line for all these people because we want to maintain the same quality of welcome for all our librarians. So this French Public Service Plus help us to have a main line for everybody. Then I will finish my presentation with the education skills a lot, a little aspect of that. But I would like today for the staff week, just figure out some 3 main subjects and topics for the library. And to begin with the users training courses, because of course we are here to welcome people, to give spaces to study, but also to offer services. And to begin with the user training courses, we offer some training for students and also for external readers on university topics like the documentary research or plagiarism. It's quite difficult to say that, training. And also, we have some digital workshop for doctoral students. We are called les Ateliers du Numérique. So it's an annual proposal en fait, of workshops of the digital. For example, this year, we made a workshop about the open access and open archives, what's the interest, and given the example of AL that Goran will talk later. So we have 2 hours of training in the library, and since the pandemic, we do that online and at the same time at the library. And I insist on this point, is very important because with Goran, we often talk about the interest of remain the online version and the physical version. But for the doctorate people, I think it's very important to have both because they work on their country sometimes, on their other places in France, and the library can offer them a very good workshop, I think, and very great contents online also. So they connect a lot offline and not much, they don't come to see us. But this workshop, we are very engaged with the library of the university at the beginning of the year. We come to them to offer the training, to say it's for you, it's free, you can come. And it's very important to do that because university is big and the library, we have to communicate, we have to go in front of the people and to say, you can do that with us and we are here for you. And also we collaborate with professors, with data opening officers and data protection officers of the university, for example, for this workshop. And we are very attentive to open it on the territory and also to natural themes and topics which interest not also the students of Paris, but maybe also other students. And we record this conference and we put them online. And it's helpful to have a continuity to keep the contents and to allow some viewing and another time. And it's a very new, I think, more 3 or 4 years we are doing that, but it's our main practical now to allow some asynchronous viewing and to help people to watch when they are available. The second topic is the Interlibrary Digital Loan. It's a very main services of the library, because at the university, the library of the University of Paris 8, we have a title politically documentary. Sorry, so we buy books by books and not 10 exemplary of the books, for example. So we have a lot of different books, and it's very well known in the region of Île-de-France that we have sometimes books that you can not find anywhere. So we have a lot of requests from people in France or maybe in the other countries to send our books to the university by the way of the Interlibrary Digital Loan. And during the COVID-19 crisis, the requests were very, very accentuated because people cannot go on the site, can go to visit us, and need the work, need the student work. So they asked us to send it by the Interlibrary Deal. It was quite difficult to say, no, it's a digital version. We have it online, but we cannot send it to us. You have to come at the library to check it on the computer. It was quite mild. So we with the team of the Interlibrary Loan, we asked what we can do to give this student work and this research work to some people in another country, but in a protective way. So we buy a new software which is called CopySafe. And it allowed us to send some digital version to one people online. So you can, you can screenshot the content, you can copy the content, and you can download the content, and you have a small time to watch it. But so it's very secure. You can send it by mail, and with the password, the researcher or the other people can download it. So we are able now to share some research contents, digital research contents in other country, but in a protective way. So we are in test for that. It has been 3 months since we bought the new software, but I think it will be the future of the Interlibrary Digital Loan, because the request accentuated by the COVID-19 will be remain. It will be in the next few years, and it will be the main subjects. And to finish, and I will take lead the line to Goran. We are a community-oriented library. Because we, as words, all users are welcome, and it's true. And it's not a very empty world, but it's a reality. Because anyone can enter for free at the library. You don't have to pay to enter, and it's free. Just you have to be under 18 years old. Because we are just here for adult people, but once a year. During the reservation of the baccalaureate, some high school students can go to the library in 2 weeks or 1 month, it depends, to work at the library and to discover the university and the library of the university. But if you are an elderly people, you can every day of every year come to the library for free, and also register yourself for free if you are living or working in the department of Île-de-France. So it's quite an opening policy for the library to say you can go here and you can borrow books for free. We have a lot of advantages in the library because we don't have some saturation of spaces like other Parisian library, because in the center of Paris, A lot of libraries are very overcrowded, but here we have a lot of spaces. We can welcome all the people we want. And the title purchasing policies that I spoke earlier, that makes the collection very rich, and we are quite known for that. So a lot of people who are not from the university come. And also, we at the top of the year, we begin a partnership with the public libraries of called Plaine Commune, but it's the public libraries of Seine-Saint-Denis, of the Department of Seine-Saint-Denis. And we're very proud of this partnership because people, users, come to the library of the university and also to the public libraries, but our two institutions don't communicate. And our ambition was to share some resources, also some digital resources because it's got a lot, to share our policy, our welcome policy, our workshop of French, for example, because here in our department, we have some needs, some very strong needs, and we will be stronger if we are together and if we have a common policy of welcoming of the public. So here we are beginning this partnership, and I will be very vigilant for the next years to remain this partnership and to make it stronger, to welcome the public and to have a very community-oriented policy of the services. And just to finish, I would like to introduce you the new website of the library in preview. We are one of the first people to see it because we had a very old one website and we had to have a new one. So here you have the new one, and I would just wanted to show you that we put traduction in English in not very common in some websites in France, of our library websites, and so the English version was very to welcome foreigners, researcher, foreigner students, and to have the main information to come to the library or to contact the people who work here, to contact the librarian to have what they need. And here we have the website page for les services aux chercheurs, so for researcher services. And just to introduce the part of Goran, here we have our data plan managing of Paris 8, who put on the top of the pages just to valorize and to give some visibility to the project. So it was also a very strong way for the library to welcome the data. Mr. Goran, it's up to you.
Thank you very much, Clémence, for presenting some key points of our library. Before now I go to the heart of the matter, I start this presentation with a little introduction. 2 years ago, when I started to work on these topics on open science, there were mainly 2 questions asked by the researchers. Why open science? Why science? And to the second question, but it's okay, open science, but we have no data. We mainly work on body of text, on corpus of text. That's why I just want to make clear right from the beginning that we won't talk about a science in the narrow sense of that science meaning the natural sciences and life sciences here, but we are talking about all kinds and all fields of research and regarding Paris 8, especially in human and social sciences. Maybe for me, open scholarship and or open research would have been the better term actually, because it's also about open research practices in the arts and humanities. Nevertheless, of course, open science is the term which is frequently used in all these kinds of discussions on science methodology and science policy making. Please be aware that it's about all field of academic research. Now, what is open science and why open science? Open science is about opening up scientific processes and products for all levels of scientific process to everyone. It includes open access, open research data, open methodology, open evaluation, citizen science. It's about all these aspects, and I also put here open licenses because open science also has a crucial legal dimension on any case. It's about the reuse of scientific materials, and therefore it's also about proper licensing of research products or source code. There is, for me, two main dimensions of open science. Of course, free and open access on one side, and the other side is the possibility to reuse the works, the results of the science. Doing this introduction, here I will touch upon some of these aspects to give you some idea of what open science is all about at Paris State University. So I will start to talk a bit about the future of scholarly publishing in the beginning, and then after I will tell you a bit more about our project Data Paris 8, and finally about educational skills and research integrity in open science. So if you want to talk about the future of scholarly publishing, you must go a bit to the past of scholarly publishing, to the early 2000 years. That is when the discussion about open access to scholarly publication really became prominent, and this kind of publication model really became a thing apart from particle physics in the beginning, where open access has been introduced since the early 1990s. And from that time, you have various important declaration and definition of open access, and I choose to point the Berlin Declaration on open access today because I think that it really has some important points related to the overall discussion on open science. So when you want to read what is open access according to the Berlin Declaration, you find open access contribution include original scientific research resources, but not only this, but also raw data, metadata, source materials, digital representations of pictorial or graphic materials, and scholarly multimedia material. Authors and right holders of such contributions grant to all users a free, irrevocable, worldwide right of access to and the license to copy, use, distribute, transmit, or display the work publicly. For me, these really are the two important aspects of open science overall fields where you can find all discussions on the topic. It's about free access to product of scientific activity, but it's always about more than this. It's always about reuse, and this is why the legal dimension is so important. People shall not only be able to look at your data, but they shall be able to take your data and use them and make something new. I think that this is even more important than open access. Now, talking about open access in particular, it means open access, it means lifting the paywall behind which most of the scholarly publications are hidden. Or today, this is still the case, so it's thinking about how can I make my publication open access. And most of you might be aware that there are different ways of how you can publish your research open access. Here is evolution of the open access rate of scientific publication in France by year of observation. And you can see that 2013, we are more than 40, and actually it's more than 60% of open access. Although the numbers may vary from country to country, open access is in its way to become the most dominant publishing model for research articles. This is the question of research articles. And there is a growth of regarding all fields from 2020 to 2021. Often, when we spoke about the open access, there is many ways, but often these ways are framed by the terms. First of all, the term of golden road, and after that, green road to open access. So golden basically means the primary publication is released on open access. So the publisher version you can find on the publisher website, for example, it is openly available to anyone. The green means the preprints or postprints are made openly available via suitable repository services. It's the very popular preprint. It's so-called the archive, in France, the open archive. And for example, in France, you are, in the world, there is archive. And the most popular preprint server, which is very frequently used for all researchers in the field of physics, but also mathematics or information science, computer science. And in France, you have HAL repository, which is national open access repository available to researchers from French higher education institutions. We can see here the growth of deposits per year in HAL. We are today more than 1 million full text documents and near 3 million number of resources. You can see the growth of deposits per year, and regarding the open archive HAL Paris 8, we can see also our evaluation. Today we are near 35,000 documents by all researchers of Paris State University. We have found 24% of open access. Our goal is to attempt, of course, in 5 years, 50%. Now, regard to gold open access, the main discussion today, which are really important, I think, to shape the future of scholarly publication, are about business models. They are about the question how to finance the publishing infrastructure. We need, because obviously publishing open access is also associated with some kind of costs, and you need some kind of business model and how these costs are covered. The most prominent business model here is, of course, having article processing charges, APC, or book processing charges, BPC. But it's also about, for example, having huge agreements with publishing houses, so-called transformative agreements, which try to shift the subscription budgets of the library to central open access budgets. And there is a lot of discussion going on at the moment about this kind of transformative agreements and how this should be spelled out, and whether it is a good idea to have them, or whether they will perpetuate some kind of the problems we have with the academic publishing market. And of course, we have also our university presses, Presse Universitaire de Vincennes. It's our publishing infrastructure in these fields. In particular, our university also starts to provide infrastructures for electronic publishing and open access. Today we have 5 journals, but the idea is developing this service. Open access is on its way to become the dominant publishing model, at least for research. We have also crowdfundings and so on. And I think that we have, for example, concerning APC, article processing charges, we have 3 publications at Paris State University, Journal of Medical Internet Research, British Medical Journal, and Public Library of Science 1, with the fees associated to this model of open access, especially in psychology and cognition science. So I think the open access, it's on its way to become the dominant publishing model, at least for the research articles. And that brings us to the question that regarding to the future of scholarly publishing, it is not the question any longer whether we want or we will publish open access or not. This case for me is already decided. So the future of scholarly publication and publishing will be open access publishing. But for me, the question is how this open landscape will look like and how we want to shape it and this is something which is really an interesting field of discussion for me. My next point now is a very important component, a very important pillar, a very important dimension of open science, data and fair data principles at Paris 8. Concerning the role of libraries in research data management, because often there is a question why libraries are interested in research data management. The very recent book on the subject says that libraries are increasingly becoming central in the field of data science, a space on academic campuses, that can provide access to all researchers and students. I told you in the beginning the question of our researchers, what is research data? Just quickly, it's any information that has been collected, observed, generated, created to validate. This is very important. To validate original research findings. To validate is condition sine qua non. Research data is a very important resource, so we must ensure that it can be reused first and foremost by ourselves. Just in this infography, it is the question of fair data principles. We spoke about fair data principles, not fair data rules, not that fair data proposals. It's very simple. Data must be findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. Always reusable. When I said this fair data principle, there is one important principle. Data must be open as possible, but closed as necessary. There is sensitive data, data protection, personal data, and so on. And data management is now at the heart of our programs, Horizon 2020, Horizon Europe. Participating projects are required to deposit research data into a research data repository. And a project must take measures to enable for third parties to access, mine, exploit, reproduce, and disseminate this research data. Now, why open data? To have open data, you need first of all, to depose the data. Now, the very challenge is to incite our researchers to depose their data. And where to depose their data, when, why, for public benefits, benefits for the researcher, citation, career recognition, new collaboration, and for, of course, research community benefits, reuse in teaching, easier to find useful data, more efficient research, data archived and preserved for the future, and new research made possible with the reuse of data. Where now in France, there is a second French plan for open science, 2021. The first one is 2019. And the part 2 is all about the structuring, sharing, and opening up research data. There is national policy about the data management. And what about Paris State University? Paris State University began with the Data Paris State project from 2020 by established a steering committee with project managers, vice president of research, composed with project managers, vice president of research department, university library, of course, a network created of research data and open science correspondence of the 33 research laboratories, data protection officer, delegate for research integrity, and Department of Information and Digital Systems. We have one main partner, is the French research infrastructure Humanum, dedicated to letters, humanities, and social sciences. And first of all, we have a survey on the type of data at the university. All our scientific laboratories respond to our questions, what kind of data they produce. This was necessary to have an idea of what kind of data we have at the university. And we realized that there were primary sources, data that constitute the basic materials of the research, external source data, quantitative databases, corpus, and the textual archives, source data collected, database developed from multiple sources, result data, statistical analysis data, qualitative analysis data, network of analysis data, and documentation of the data. Methodology guide, program of and application, etc. This leads us to elaborate a data management plan for our university, because our researchers asked our committee to elaborate this data management plan. And this data management plan of our university describes in detail all aspects of data management that will take place during the entire research data life cycle, where data are being collected, organized, documented, shared, and preserved. There are two key reasons why funders require to our researchers data management plan is to support, first of all, transparency and openness. Data management plans that illustrate how data will be made discoverable, accessible, and reusable support the responsibility to make research products openly available. And second one, return on investment, making data discoverable, accessible, and reusable maximizes the research potential of the data and provides greater returns on public investments in research. Why data management plans is important? Because it comply with funder mandates. There is in conformity with FAIR principles. It makes research reproducible. it complies with data protection law and protect data subjects, increase data impact, and make research more efficient. In our Paris-A data management plan, there is 5 common themes: description of data to be collected, what standards and methodologies for data by our researchers, what is the ethics intellectual property, because opening data, openness, it means not forgive all intellectual property, plans for data sharing and access, where data of Paris University will be stored and archived, and the strategy for long-term preservation. Here is the model of data management plan of university. He is stored on a national platform OPIDOR, and there is a possibility for all researchers of university to use our model and to apply and appropriate for their research projects. There is commentaries, suggestions for all 5 common themes concerning our data management plan. The model of Paris 8 is permits for us to work also on data management plan of ERUA. First stage with data collection form for all partners of the ERUA, and second one with we have now the first version of our data management plan. There is now the challenge to have also the vision concerning all partner university related to data management. Regarding data management at Paris 8 University, we have one partner very important who provide us data services concerning all the cycle, life cycle of data, from organizations to data, passing by collection, processing, preservation, and in the end of this life cycle, publishing and reuse of our data. We use the repository, which the name is Nakala, and to share, publish, and enhance our scientific data. I will just tell you some words concerning our repository. The key principles of this repository is there is a possibility of all types of formats regarding file deposit platform, PDF, images, video. There is Nakala uses Dublin core standards with the possibility of extensive vocabulary. There is a possibility of addition of more metadata, not only the necessary 5 necessary metadata. There is a possibility to organize data collection, data into collection. We made a collection of first pilot Paris 8 laboratories. It's very important for our laboratories to have their data in one place. And this is the example, for example, our global project is Data Paris 8. This is example of 3 corpora of data stored at our institutional repository in Nakala. It's very important for our research that Nakala offered the possibility of persistent identifier, DOI, since 2020. And just to resume this part, managing data properly allows for a reuse by you and your community. Managing data costs less than not managing data costs less than not managing it. Manage data from the beginning of your research is very important. Manage data according to FAIR principle and use transported data repositories is very important. At the end, I will tell you just some words on education and skills in open science and research integrity. As for education and skills, open science bring new opportunities today and in the future, but also some challenges. It is important to be ready to solve them. New skills on both personal and institutional level. We have to get the new skills as a researcher. And we have to get support from our and your university. This is very important challenge for us. Skills related. Now there is a group of skills related of open science publishing, then skills related to data management, and skills enabling professional research conduct. As for skills related to open access publishing, after working on all these topics, we will be able to know where to publish, how to auto-archive our publication, how to improve social impact, how to contract with publishers, who are the new publishing methods, who are the license, know more about the licensing and copyright, and without forgetting the evaluation, the dimension of evaluating research, bibliometrics, and research impact reporting. Now, the skills related to data management. Working on data offer the possibility to know the domain of specific formats, standards, and tools, to know more on data management, especially fair data principles, data analysis, data description, institution-specific workflows like data protection, availability policies, and of course, data citation impact. And in the end, the skills related to professional research conduct, it's about research management, legal skills, and research integrity and ethical skills, avoiding plagiarism, avoiding to steal some data, some sensitive data, and more cases are cases of neglect, of course, rather than fabrication, falsification, and fraud. We propose at the university the training is spoke by Clémence earlier. Training and support in open science at our library, especially by doctoral training on open access and open archive. Our annual open access week with practical workshops and conferences. We propose data management plan writing training and data management on practical workshops. We propose the transmission of skills on Nakala repository. And of course, there is our Atelier du Numérique, digital workshops on research data management, but not only. For example, in 2021, 15 requests, there are 15 requests for support in writing a data management plan. There were 22 requests for support in the use of Nakara repository, and the library organized 17 trainings on different aspects of open science. As for the research integrity, there is, and I will conclude, there is 4 main principles: reliability in ensuring the quality of research, honesty in development, undertaking, reviewing, reporting, and communicating research in a transparent, fair, full, and unbiased way, respect for colleagues, for research, and accountability for the research from idea to publication for its management and organization. And in summary, I will conclude that open science is not something which is a new thing coming up now, but it's really something. It's just taking the idea of new constitutes, taking the idea of what constitutes the scientific methods or scientific methods seriously. So open science is just science done right with the means of electronic publishing, of data sharing, and all this kind of possibility which emerge if you have new digital technology at the hand. Thank you for your attention.